Yo, yo.
Sorry, I got him.
Mike working on.
Hey, Derrick. When you're facing a guy like Trae Young and the way that he likes to kind of like work the officials a little bit, and he looks to kind of make some advantages on the margins there, how do you try to stop him during the course of a playoff series? And then how do you try to, I guess, make sure that he doesn't take advantage too much of the whistle?
You gotta do it with a team effort. Try as much as you can to be inside your book so that the play calls and it's going to be a hell of an effort to not only stop him but the team. But with him, it's going to be a hard game. Like you said, he likes working the refs a little bit, but at the same time, we know we got to give a maximum effort and just try to get that shot.
Ian Bagley.
Derrick, you were named one of the 3 finalists for the Sixth Man Award this year. Just wondering what that means to you, just to be, in that company with the voting and all that.
Oh, it means something, bro. But at the same time, I'm just happy. I'm more happy with being in the playoffs, to be honest. Being in that category of being the finalist, it showed that when I came here, I guess I did my job with just playing as hard as I could, trying to be that role that's on the team. And I guess my play was up to par that with everyone that ended up being in the finals. And it's cool, but it's more cool, like I said, being in the playoffs. Missed it for the last couple of years. So being back here, being in the market like this and everything, it means a lot.
Rebecca Harlow.
Yeah, hey, Derrick, just more on that note, you're saying this means more to you just being back in the playoffs. You haven't made a significant playoff run since your Bulls days in 2015. Just to be in this spot, what are you looking forward to the most, just being back in a chance to go after a ring?
For one, getting to learn with the guys that's on the team. This would be the first time for a lot of the players that's on the team. So for all of us to be in this position, like I said, it means a lot. I've been in it a few times at an early age, and just the butterflies that you get, the excitement, the anxiety, the just everything that comes with just playing your first playoff game in a series. It's cool to see that. Oh man, it's good to be in the fight or be in this battle with some guys that's already been there. And my job is to come in, try to relax guys, let them know it's a big game, but at the same time, the guys before I even got here, they already had an identity. So try to keep them focused on playing through that identity, and if anything, just play with more urgency than you did in the regular season. But the last couple of days, everybody's been having that laser focus, and everybody is keying in on what we have to do. So it's great.
Steve Hopper.
Hey, Derrick. Just 2 things. One quick, just how your ankle is feeling, but also how you compare like your work with Tibbs now preparing for a playoff series to what he was like, early on. Is he the same? Is it more intense, less intense?
My ankle was good. That's something I'm not even worried about anymore. But with Tibbs, it's still the same. But the only thing that's changed is the playbook, like the books that we get for the playoffs. Like and they don't look like Bibles no more. You know what I'm saying? They look like regular school books. So he used to give us like Bibles full of plays when we was in Chicago. But this year he has more detail than the others, but they're smaller books.
Mark Berman.
Hey, Derrick. What do you consider as the most important key to beating the Hawks in this series?
I mean, it's a few things, but I don't feel right saying it right here. Like, I don't feel right just talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the things is playing as hard as we can. If we don't come out and play hard, they're gonna smoke it. So I can't give you. That's the most I could give you right there.
Last question, Steph Bondi.
Hey, Derrick. Now we've seen and we've heard all year how you guys kind of play harder defensively than a lot of these teams. I guess as a Tibbs staple, he gets you guys to play every game like it means something more. Now, when you look at the playoffs, you know other teams are going to play that hard now too.
Yeah.
Which might be a disadvantage for you because you guys have been playing this way all year, and now other teams are stepping it up to the level you guys have been playing at. Do you buy into that, or do you guys think you have another level that we haven't seen yet?
I believe we have to have another level. I mean, that's why we're preparing right now. Like proper preparation prevents poor performance. That's what we're doing right now. We're preventing all that. We know that once we have the laser focus and we know how to execute towards the end of the game, and just realizing where we're at throughout the game, being mindful of every play, every possession. Like I said, it's a lot of these guys like first time ever been here, so it's up to the older guys, me, Taj, and the guys that played in it, to remind guys where they at in the game, to remind them to stay present. Don't get too up. Just don't get aroused by just being up or being down. Just stay focused, stay level-headed, and just understand and just be present. That's the biggest thing because you can get lost, especially if you go down 10, go up 10. You gotta stay the same because it could change quick.
Thank you, Derrick.
Thanks.
Coach, Derrick was telling us that you give them a book, not just a binder, as prep for these games. But just in your mind, how many different, when you look at a play, how deep do you go for the guys to understand what play might come next or next or next?
Well, I think it's just normal preparation. For the playoffs, you want them to understand their opponent and know them well. And so we watch a lot of film. They have the books. They have to study. I think you want to combine, great concentration and knowledge with maximum effort to try to put your best foot forward. And hopefully we've been building the right habits all season long. We wanted to be playing our best down the stretch. I think we are, but we know this is a different animal when you get to the playoffs. So our focus, our concentration, our togetherness has to be great.
Ian Bagley.
Hey, Tom, there's going to be 15,000 fans, I think, for games 1 and 2. So I'm just curious, is there anything to the shooting lines, the sight lines for shooting being a little bit different with a bigger crowd? Is that something that's on your mind at all?
Well, I think the bigger adjustment was probably playing without the fans. I think everyone's used to playing with the fans. And we're excited about, towards the end, you started to see more fans in the building, and sometimes you don't realize how much you miss them. I know when we played in Phoenix, they had a great crowd, and it was just great to see it, things sort of getting back to normal. And, we feel very strongly about our fans. We feel that we have the best fans in the world. And obviously we have the most famous arena, and we know what the Knicks mean to the city. So we're looking forward to it. We're excited about the playoffs, and we know we're going to have to bring our best.
Steve Popper.
Hey, Tom. They announced last night that Derrick was one of the finalists for the NBA Sixth Man of the Year award. And I know there were questions about him when he came here, what his role would be and minutes taken away. Could you just talk about maybe what he's delivered to you this time, third time with him?
Yeah, and I think when you look at his career, and obviously to be the MVP at 22 and the way he played was remarkable, tremendous accomplishments. And then the 3 years of injuries to get through that, and then Actually, when you really study his career and you see how well he played, anytime he's been healthy, he's played well. And so, and I felt that I had a good understanding of who he is and what he means to a team, and whether he was the MVP of the league or, he was playing for me in Minnesota. He's always been a team first guy. His teammates have always loved him. And I thought getting the right veteran leaders here was going to be important for us to build a foundation. And we were very fortunate to get Taj along with Derrick. And they've been in a lot of big games. They've done a lot of winning in this league. And then when you couple that with guys like Reggie Bullock, Alec Burks, Nerlens, and Alfred, we've got really good veteran leaders. And Julius is a great leader. And we've got good young guys. When you look at a guy like RJ and Obi and Quick, they're eager, but our veteran leaders set the example every day. And we want a team full of leaders, and we're fortunate to have that.
Steph Bondi.
Hey, Tom. Derrick was saying that you used to give him binders in Chicago, and now it's 2 books, like school books. What was the evolution of that? Why do you now need 2 books as opposed to just a binder?
Just to keep his attention.
And is it just detailed scouting reports in there?
Yeah, it's just game plan stuff, information, and we give them film to study as well. So, however, and we basically do something similar throughout the course of the season, not as in depth as this is, but you have time to prepare. It's the same opponent over and over. And so you want to have a good understanding of who your opponent is. And then I think it's important to understand that you have to give maximum effort, but you also have to combine that with great concentration and focus. And, I think the more prepared you are, the better you're going to play, the more confident you're going to be.
Mike Vaccaro.
Tom, when you look at RJ, in your experience in the league, who would you compare him to, and who would you compare him to in terms of the level of improvement he's had from where he was this time last year to where he is now?
Yeah, Mike, I hate to compare anyone to someone else, but it's, in looking at him, and sometimes you have to take a step back and realize, okay, he's 20 years old, and he's made a great jump this year, and he's a gym rat. He's in the gym all the time, and he's a worker. He's a great team guy. And I think we're all guilty of this. We tend to measure guys today against maybe a star that took him 7 or 8 years to get to where he is today, and you forget the steps that they take along the way. So, and usually the guys who improve are the ones that are committed to improving. They're in the gym all the time. They study, they learn from their experiences. And I think RJ is one of those guys. And I look back, throughout my career at guys who have improved, and basically those characteristics are similar. When I look at the guys that I had in Chicago, Derrick and Taj and Jimmy Butler and Joakim Noah, those guys they got better as with each year because of the work they put in. The same thing held true in Minnesota. So I think that when you have tough, serious-minded guys that are willing to make a commitment to improve, they improve.
Mark Berman.
Hey, Tom. I was wondering if you agreed with Nate McMillan that that's good for the NBA. The NBA wants the Knicks in the playoffs after being away for 7 years.
I know a lot of times people think that, and I've been here. I've been part of the Knicks before. I've been an opposing coach, been with different organizations, and I think the league is going to do what they think is best for the league. But you can say that in 96, 97, and Berman, I think you were there. You were leading the charge at the time. We had 6 guys get suspended. Patrick Ewing took a step off the bench and it wiped them out, and that was our chance probably for a championship. So, I don't know. I don't think the league favors us. I think the playoffs heighten everything. You're fighting, the same opponent over and over again. So, we just want to focus on what we got to do for game one.
Last question, Mike Borkanoff.
Tom, I would assume, we've been asking you about how you'll stop Trae Young and all that. I would assume the Hawks are going to try to stop Julius. If and when they do that, what do you think the keys will be for you guys if they kind of make a concerted effort to take the ball out of Julius's hands and make everyone else beat him?
Yeah, I think it's the same. I think over the course of the season, you see a lot of different defenses, and I think you have to prepare. There's no steady diet that's going to stop, a Trae Young or a Julius Randle. They've seen every defense that you could possibly throw at them. And then the responsibility of a primary scorer is to make the right play. The game will tell you what you should do, to read the game properly. Anytime you can get 2 on the ball should be easy offense for others. And so just know what your reads are, know what the progressions are, and we got to provide the proper outlets for them.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
If you have a question, raise your hand and I'll bring you in. Mike Borkanoff.
Hey, Manuel. Do you have an idea yet of what to expect in the playoffs and just your first playoff game? Derrick was saying that he kind of had butterflies and anxiety coming into his first one.
I'm just excited. I didn't get to play in the tournament last year, so I'm looking forward to some postseason play. Obviously, when you're playing in postseason on any level, the level of intensity is intensified. It's usually low scoring defense. And so, just watching it all my life, watching the playoffs, it's always been kind of cool. So it's going to be even more, fun to, be out there with my teammates.
Steve Popper.
Being that this is your first time doing this, Immanuel, I know we've heard about the binders or the books from Tibbs. Is the preparation much more intense than maybe what you expected?
I wouldn't say more than what I've expected, but it's definitely been times 10 with all the stuff that, the numbers and the plays. He expects us to know everything. And we expect each other to try to know as much as we can as well, just because we want to win. So, we're just trying to, come prepared and be ready for the season.
Ian Bagley.
Emmanuel, you mentioned early on, like as soon as Derrick got here, that he had kind of had a conversation with you and was giving you advice. Did that continue over the course of the season, and what kind of role did he play as a vet for you?
It's been a huge help for me this year. Just talked to him 1 or 2 days ago about, what to expect in the playoffs. He said taking care of your body is a must. Just being on top, go home, study your book, things like that. And just be sharp mentally. So, I'm somebody who tries to, pick his brain as much as possible. And that was something he just told me, 1 to 2 days ago. So, he's always dropping little nuggets like that.
Rebecca Harlow.
Quick, I know you've been such a sponge all year long, picking the brains of various vets, just trying to learn as much as possible. What do you think are sort of a couple of the most important lessons you've learned this season that make you ready for this moment now in the postseason?
Well, one, I feel like it always starts with my faith. That's the first thing I always lean on. And then the second thing is just the hard work that I try to put in every day, just watching, like I say all the time, the guys like Julius and, Derrick always staying after, getting up extra work in. So, I try to, make sure that I'm staying on top of myself so that when, bright lights are there, I'll be ready to shine or whatnot. So that's another thing. And then just really going home and just trying to put all the work in with, studying my book and things like that, studying the opponent's plays, trying to know what they do and things like that. So just all that stuff combined, I think I'm ready for this moment.
Steph Bondy.
Hey, man, with the books that Tom gives you guys, how much more details are there than when you're preparing for a regular season opponent? And also, what are you like, taking the book to bed and studying like school? Like, how does that work?
It actually is kind of funny. Me and Obi was like, it kind of reminds us of school. The other day we had got into small groups, and it was almost like we had class. So we was joking with each other the other day. It was kind of like school all over again. But just to hit on your other question, it's kind of different because playing a regular team, you might have 2 days because you might have another game, or you might have a back-to-back, and you have 1 day to go over as much as you can, and you can't get everything. But now we have a week to study our opponents. So we're trying to know our opponents, inside and out, and just trying to, know them the best that we can so that we can come prepared.
Peter Body.
Man, you haven't had the chance yet to experience the Garden when it's almost full. You're gonna have over 15,000 people there Sunday. What are you looking forward to that environment?
Well, I played there in college. It was probably a little different, because I wasn't playing for the Knicks. But I played there in college a couple times, and the Garden's always rocking. I don't know if they were cheering for us or the other team, but it was loud. It was a lot of emotion in that game. And I just remember it being a lot of fun. You could feel the buzz in the gym. I'm gonna be looking forward to it.
Manuel, is there anything that you've been surprised that you kind of dug into now with these booklets that Tibbs has you guys looking into, and just like the granular details he has you studying?
I wouldn't say surprised. I was kind of expecting. This. Coming into the Knicks, I knew Coach was big on numbers and defense, and being like a defensive menace and a defensive genius. So, and I know that the only way you can get to somewhere like that is by putting in work. So, he expects us to know a lot, and like I said, we're expecting each other and holding each other accountable to know all the stuff that we can.
Last question, Rebecca Harlow.
Quick, in a 7-game series, a lot of times these come down to bench production and what the bench can do throughout a 7-game series. Just talk to me about what you feel the bench's responsibility will be in this series now that you've had a chance to study Atlanta, who you will most likely be seeing, et cetera.
Yeah, I feel like that's been one of our strengths the whole season is how deep our team is. Any night it could be anybody. And we pride ourselves on that. Obviously we got, Julius and an all-star, probably all NBA, hopefully for him. But we have so many players that can step up and help him out. And I feel like that's the strength of our team. So coming in and just being confident, being aggressive on both sides of the ball, we want to pride ourselves on that.
Thank you, Emmanuel.